real history of Christopher Columbus is not something that our children learn in school. They're taught about the names of the ships in which he came over. We got a catchy song to remember that 1492 is the year that he sailed the ocean blue. But no one tells our children that he also was the first slave trader of the Americans. That under his watch, genocide took place. And within 50 years, not a single original native inhabitant could be found on the island of Hispaniola. That he kept detailed diaries of the atrocities that he and his men committed, like killing babies for dog food, cutting people in half just to test the sharpness of their swords, and having desires for 9 to 10-year-old girls whom they sold into sexual slavery. It's not a pleasant history, but it is the truth. So is it time that we rethink Columbus Day? Well, joining me from Texas to discuss it is Wanblee Tate, the chapter advisor for the Central Texas American Indian Movement and the elder advisor for the Santa Barbara American Indian Movement. Wanblee, thank you so much for joining me. So every year,
thank you.
We celebrate Columbus Day, and I guess the part of it, to me, that I probably assume you find the most offensive or ignorant too, is the fact that we still teach children that he discovered America. What about the people that were already here?
Alana, that to me is like walking into a grandmother's house today, walking up and taking her purse, dumping the contents on the floor and saying, look, I discovered this, it's mine. And the house that I discovered it in is mine. It's not discovery, it's theft. Unfortunately, the adults in this society also were taught the very same discovery myth that the children are being taught today. So most of the adults in this society believe the same myth. What we're after a change to be made in is disregard the myth, pick up the truth. The truth is easier to walk with. The truth is a firmer foundation. It will lead you forward in a better path than walking on a myth of discovery that is actually a fact of theft, murder, slavery, inhuman acts towards other humans.
Well, you're very right in that sense. You know, I was going to say, I think some people would say that, well, this is just too gruesome for children to learn. And obviously, when kids are of a young age, that's not when you start teaching them about the Holocaust. But at some point, you get to that part of history. At some point, you teach them about the Holocaust. You teach them about genocide in other countries. And so how come, when it comes to Christopher Columbus, when it comes to these, the Bahamas and the island nations, Hispaniola, which now is Haiti and the Dominican Republic, we never are taught that history, definitely not in our regular schools, but probably not even in a lot of universities.
I think it's a thing of perpetuating a myth that America, and I say KKK when I say America, that America chooses to hold on to of a noble discovery to make a noble country. Nothing about the discovery has been noble. Nothing that has happened since the discovery has been noble. It's been a myth that has been full of murder, theft, lies, deceit, breaking of promises. The heroes that this country seems to found itself upon and look upon as heroes that they put up for their school children to look at. They all seem to have blood on their hands. We look at Columbus, a hero to the American people. We look at Andrew Jackson, the heroes and president of the American people who actually sent the Cherokee on the Trail of Tears, and thousands of them died. We look at the terrible things that the big hero, Abraham Lincoln, did. Abraham Lincoln, the fine example of American hero. He ordered the biggest mass execution in the United States history, and it was of Native American people. There were 32 Dakota hanged by the order of Abraham Lincoln on one day in a public hanging with celebration to go with it. This nation holds on to these heroes with blood on their hands, and that's something the nation has to deal with itself, and the people make up the nation, and the people need to start looking realistically at who the nation is, where it's come from, what it's founded upon, and how it wishes to go forward. Does it wish to go forward with myth, or does it wish to go forward with truth?
Now, lastly, I think some people would say that perhaps you can't hold people like Christopher Columbus, who are from the 15th, the 16th centuries, you can't hold them to the same standards as you would someone in the 21st century. And for that reason, I guess that it's not so bad because at that point in time, everyone had slaves, right? What do you say to people that make that argument?
Well, you know, we have the same situation has arisen with the murder of over 300 Sioux at Wounded Knee. When the 7th Cavalry attacked 300 unarmed men, women, and children and slaughtered them. And over 30 medals of honor were awarded to the soldiers who did the slaughter. When we approached the Senate Armed Forces Committee, then chaired by a Republican from Arizona, John McCain, about removing the medals, he said we couldn't hold those people responsible for acts that committed then because times were different then. Alana, wrong is wrong. Everybody knows, every human being knows in their heart that it is wrong to cut another human being in half. Everybody knows it is wrong to send 10-year-olds to have sex, as Columbus did. Everybody knows it is wrong to feed human beings to dogs. It doesn't matter if it's today or 500 years ago.
Yeah.
Humans know right from wrong.
Well, I'm sorry, we're out of time, but there are definitely a lot of people out there making that argument right now and actually calling for this holiday to definitely be rethought. And I absolutely think that there needs to be more education about the truth and what really happened here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.